Farm bills may be repealed, but farmers will still need help. Amartya Lahiri writes, failure of manufacturing to absorb surplus agricultural labor has meant that farmers remain tied to land even when it doesn't yield much. Protesting farmers at Singhu border in New Delhi, the recent announcement by Prime Minister Narendra Modi withdrawing the farm bills has, predictably, generated a lot of press. Undoubtedly, there have been political winners and losers. Much more consequentially, lives have been lost in this sordid saga. Sadly, the part that has been lost in Thidin is the fact that the entire episode was a complete distraction from the primary goal of lifting Indian farmers out of a low-income existence. The farm bills, whether they are passed or not, were unlikely to have made any sustained difference to the life of the farmer. Let me explain. Agriculture today employs 45% of India's workers, while only producing around 10% of its output. Clearly, Indian agriculture is woefully unproductive. That is the fundamental reason why the Indian farmer is poor. The problem is that there are just too many workers still trying to eke out a living from the farm. The land, despite many improvements in irrigation, seeds, fertilizers, and mechanization, just doesn't have enough in it to sustain the sheer number of people dependent on it. In this backdrop of vast expanses of unproductive farms, marginal changes in prices of agricultural products through tinkering with agricultural marketing laws are not going to make any appreciable long-term difference to the life of the Indian farmer and his children. Of course, small improvements in prices received would help at the margin, but they will not materially change either the low productivity of Indian agriculture or the low returns to most of its practitioners. Is not unique to India. It is an endemic feature in developing countries. Two international facts illustrate this. First, while overall labor productivity in the richest countries is almost 40-fold greater than in the poorest economies, the gap in agricultural labor productivity between these countries is 80-fold. By contrast, the gap between the labor productivity of developed and developing countries in non-agricultural sectors is just 5-fold. Second, despite the abysmally low labor productivity, the poorest economies continue to allocate a huge part of their labor force to agriculture. India fits very well with these two international facts. An implication of these facts is that in the poorest countries, labor productivity in non-agricultural sectors is massively greater than productivity in agriculture. Some of this measured sectoral productivity gap is doubtless due to factors like lower mechanization, price differentials between rural and urban areas, worker quality, and unmeasured agricultural output due to home production. However, even after adjusting for these factors, the average productivity gap between non-agriculture and agriculture remains